Hello everybody and welcome to another Unity 5 FPS tutorial thing. This is like the third time I've tried to record this because I keep messing things up because I'm very unorganized. I should probably learn to do that, like you would have seen last time. Oh well, so last week, or last episode, depending on how I'm going to upload these, hopefully every couple of days, we created a recast gun with reloading that's sort of slightly broken, but it worked in a way because it could detect what you were shooting at, such as the ground. But we will work on to adding walls. I might add a detection for walls today. It's quite simple. It's just pretty much just copying and pasting this little bit of code here and changing the tag. But that I can add that in this episode. So what we're going to be doing today is I have actually fixed up the reloading slight bit. So last time I actually got the name of reloading wrong compared to the variable. I had it like reloading or something like that. I'd used an A in the wrong place. So now I've corrected that, and I've also changed this slightly so that rounds, it's detecting to make sure rounds is at least is sort of bigger than 1. Otherwise when it gets to 0 it will still reload. I also added another section to the if statement here to make sure that ammo is bigger than 1 so that you can't shoot on 0. This will help with reloading as well, just to make sure everything works all the way down to 0, 0. Now I've set this up here just so that you've got no rounds left and we've got bullets, just to make sure that it's not going to reload and it's also not going to go past 0. So we're going to see it's gone to 0, 0. If I also set it to 1 round left, you'll also see that if we go through, we'll get down to 0, it will reload. I can still click, but it's not going to do anything. So now the gun script with the rounds is perfectly working now, and it's not going to break, which is good. So we fixed those bugs, mainly my fault because I actually didn't read over the script fully. For some reason, it sort of worked in another game. I think it's, or another project. I think it's because I didn't read through the stuff and I opened the wrong reference script. But this seems to work now. So what we're going to do today is add some on-screen UI, which is good, so that we don't have to keep looking on this stuff to see everything that's going on. This isn't going to be debug UI. We can add that another time, so we can have things telling us like what we're shooting at and stuff. If people want me to add that, I can. That's pretty simple, and you'll be able to see how simple it is from what I'm about to do now. So you could probably add that yourself, and you just use different variables and stuff to change the text. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually have on-screen ammo and round stuff. So we're going to have numbers with a line in between, because that's how it works in FPS, right? I think. So if you right-click there and go UI and then Canvas, we're going to create a canvas element here. They may have just seen I resized this so that it's completely full. So this is actually the resolution of the game, 720p here. This can go up to 10. You probably won't have these options here. I've added them in by just doing this here. So 720p is 1280 by 720 and 1080 is 1920 by 1080. I realise I have labelled that as 1920 even though it's not a resolution, I don't think. So yeah, just you can add those if you want, but you can also set it to 16:9 as well. But I like having these because you'll see with the canvas element, we can change this here to scale with screen size. And I like to have the reference thing. Because I have a 1080p monitor, I like to set it to this. I think if I had a 4K monitor, I'd be able to do 1080 quite easy, but I don't. If you have a 4K monitor, then you can do it with 1080. I think. I'm not quite sure what happens beyond 1080p because I've not experienced it yet. But that's something to look forward to, I guess, when that time comes. But for now, 720 is a good place to start, and then you can upscale that later on. One thing I do like to do is I do have another screen, which is 1080. But if I put it to 1080, it won't actually go there. It'll actually go to 1755 by 987, which isn't quite 1080, but I believe it is still 16:9. But again, if you have a bigger resolution than that, it can work. Oh, actually, no, if I take that away, it might do it. But this likes to play around a little bit. No, it doesn't quite get there. But so yeah, if you keep it at 720, you can't see what I'm doing off screen. I've just realised, but it doesn't matter so much. So there we go, 720. I know I've realised I've said that like 500 times now, but whatever. And I've dragged that into there for some reason. Let's drag it out of there. Okay, now we're going to add a text element, which is this new text right here. You'll be able to see if you look on your game view, it sort of appeared roughly in the center as well, which is good. That means you've done it right and it's on the screen. And then if you actually play your game, you'll see that if you move it around, it's on the center of your screen. I will just demonstrate in the video as well because that's probably helpful. Although obviously, look, it's just sort of getting a little bit hidden when it does that, which isn't good. So what we're going to do, we're just going to quickly set this up to look like what we're going to try and display. So this is going to be 23 or 20 and then divider 3 or whatever that thing is. It's a line, I don't know the actual name. But that's me, I never bother to learn names. People know that if they actually know me, because I don't bother learning like music names and stuff. Anyway, we're going to resize this a little bit. And then we're going to set that to 20. Actually, let's add an outline just so we can see this. It's good to make sure that's got the effect of at least, or perhaps not that, 2. And then if we set this so we can see it entirely, although it's gone a little bit weird. What if we keep it at 1? Yeah, I guess that works. It's just a little bit of an outline. Just make it so it separates from everything as well as it can. We can set this to about 25 though. It'll be a little bit clearer, or 30. Just set to 30. 30 is better. And then we can actually center this. And then if we put it down here, or roughly here-ish, and you'll see it sort of displays on screen just like that. This is just so that if we have a bigger amount, so let's say we have somehow we have 200 bullets and 30 rounds, it will just size better in there. It will just appear roughly in the same position, which is good. And then if you drag these little arrows to the full screen, it will just resize with the whole screen. So if you actually click around in this little menu, you'll see that it resizes quite badly because I've done it wrong. That's helpful. It's probably because I shouldn't do that. I should just make it resize locally to there. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I should have done. It will roughly keep with that size and it will go into the right place. Almost. That's good. There's probably better ways of doing it. I haven't quite learned how to do those myself, but as for resolution handling, we'll sort that another time, because I have reference stuff for that as well. Yeah, surprising. And I wonder if it's any good though, but we'll see. I think it's also the fact that I haven't sort of set this up exactly right, so we can have this to the closest point possible, just so that the resizing works. Although I do like to keep this off the bottom a little bit, just to help. Ooh. Now that I can't grab that. There we go. That'll work, sort of. Okay, so now that we've got that, we can set up accessing it from a script. So if we open up MonoDevelop, and we can create a new variable, we're going to call this ammo UI, and we're going to set this to UI.text. Now you'll see what I did there. I spelled it wrong. I did it in all caps. No, you'll see that it tried to make it unit. It tried to do this. But when I was typing it, I just made sure I hit the back button, not the backspace, but the arrow key left thing, and that just sort of cancels out it automatically doing stuff because it's a little bit annoying. One thing that we can do is, so we've set that variable up so you can just drag in the element, but one thing you also want to do is make sure that if we were to load this in a scene or something, and after instantiating a player prefab, which I will show you how to do, which will probably involve multiplayer or level loading, which will be something you guys will want to have a tutorial on, I expect. Multiplayer is normally the biggest thing. I will probably try and do that soon-ish, but I'm kind of wanting to wait for the new Unity 5 UI, not UI, networking, because they're adding some more features to that. So that might be in December, because they're adding a few more features, so I want to learn those, and then I can tutorial on those for everybody, which would be good. Anyway, ammo UI equals GameObject.find, because we're going to find the actual object within the scene. Now we're actually going to call this ammo_UI .get component, making sure I spell stuff right, and we're going to just want to grab the UI.text from that. If you just copy this variable name here, or this piece of text here, because this is the actual name it's going to search for, and rename the text thing up here just to be ammo UI, that'll be good, and it's going to find it. I will demonstrate that now. So if we drag the game here, and if I hit play, you'll see that just over here it has found it, because it has found the object and set it up correctly, which is exactly what we wanted. Actually, we don't want to put that in the update function. We will put that into the start function. A great way of doing that, if you didn't know, the keyboard shortcut is Control-C, Control-V, Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste. Because it's not Control-P, because paste is not that, because Control-P is print. Yeah, whatever. Ammo UI. So we're going to set the text now. So ammo UI.text equals. We're going to have it ammo plus, and then we're going to have a space and a line in the space plus rounds. There we go. So this is now going to set this up on screen perfectly, so that when we shoot, then thing, oh, that's gone to 1 because that's exactly how I set it up. And you'll see that it works perfectly. There we go. I say it's the intense wait for the actual reloading function to work, and now we can't actually shoot because there's no ammo, which is good. We can add a thing on screen that says no ammo, but I will add that another time. But I will give you until the next tutorial or whatever to see if you can add that yourself. That's one thing I might try and do. If I suggest something, see if you can do it yourself. You might be surprised you can do something. If not, then I will add it in the next episode. If I ever forget, remind me and I'll make sure I do that. But knowing me, these episodes are probably going to be about a couple weeks ahead or a few months ahead. So if I ever miss out anything, leave a comment and then I will do a video. It may just appear a little bit late compared to when this is actually gone. It's the future. When you leave the comment or something, it will probably be very close to that. But from this point now, nobody will probably watch the video for a few weeks. That's what they normally pick up momentum after a few weeks, because YouTube search algorithm is pretty awful. My videos tend to appear, because I'm a small channel, very far down the list, so they never get seen in the search, which that's not quite fun. But I guess videos that have more popularity and are probably better than this deserve to be up there, so that's fine. Anyway, now that we've added that, we can add a little. Somebody probably going, we need to add like a little crosshair thing so we know we're actually shooting. Yes, we can actually do that. One way we can do it is if we go into let's go into Photoshop. No, actually we can go into Paint to do this. You can be very sneaky, because actually no, yeah. Oh, well, if it's actually going to load, is Paint even going to load? Oh, I'm running on an SSD and it's actually struggling to, there we go, to figure out where Paint is. There we go. If we resize this down to a really small amount, keep going, all the way down to, let's go 16 by 16. 16 by 16. And then if you grab the pencil tool and grab this, and then just draw, so if we're just going to do a pixel art thing now, we're going to just draw a box. We're going to have a box as our crosshair. Because why not? Oh, it's very annoying. There we go. I would do one in Photoshop, but not everybody has access to that. So we'll just do a simple one for now, and then I will make one in Photoshop for this. Now, if we go to projects, and then we go to YouTube tutorial assets, and we can name this as crosshair. I know a crosshair is literally meant to be the four pointy things. We're just going to use a dot for now, because that's going to work, hopefully. We can then add a UI object, and we can add a raw image. So we could probably just have used this, but if we go here and then we go to if we type in crosshair, you've got it there. Actually, let's edit the crosshair thing because it's a little bit blurry. If we just set this to point, there we go, and then we can actually set a size of this. So if we hit R and scale it down quite a bit, yeah, that should, oh, what am I doing? There we go, scale it down to about there. And then if we go in game, you'll see that it's just a little square. We can't actually see the outline so much, but it's like a little dot, and that sort of marks roughly the center of the screen, which means we are shooting anything that's within that. Basically, the raycast is shooting through that exact point there, which is good. So now you have an idea of where you can aim and where things will shoot, which is good. We can't quite test that now, although we can test that with, oh, I probably shouldn't put that there. If I dock it back in, then it's going to get a little bit confused with the reference resolution, I think. But that's good for now. If you have Photoshop, you can make it a little crosshair if you want, or you can find one online, put it in, and it will work, hopefully. There will probably be an option if you have transparency. It'll just say alpha from transparency. You can do that and then just drag it in where I've put this one here, and it will work exactly the same, which will be good. Okay, so now we've added that. Let's add more detection, because that will be something I'd like to just add, because I can't be asked to leave it for a while. So let's just create another game. If we just press F to focus on the center point here, let's create a small wall. So let's create a cube, and let's, oh, I didn't do that properly at all. Let's drag it across the scene, and then drag it up a little bit, and drag it over here. So you can see this is now in front of the player. It's just going to be a wall. So we can make it so you can go around it as well. Actually, let's make a few walls. So if we put this one here, put one over here, put one over here. It doesn't matter if it overruns a little bit now. Actually, we could just do this just to be sneaky. You know, there we go. So we can run around in these walls and stuff. Now if we add a new tag called wall, just add because we can have different types of walls. So if we just label this as brick wall, so we can have like I don't know, a stone wall and stuff. Oh, why is that named brick wall? That shouldn't. Oh, have I overwritten it? I did. Yes, I overwrote it. That's why. Oh, okay. No, it saved it. Oh, okay. It knew what I was trying to do. So we label these as brick wall, like so. All these are now labeled as brick walls. So when you shoot these, your detection thing that you've got down here that says hit ground, we are also going to have hit wall. So we're going to test for more things. So now if we just add an else statement onto here, and then if we just put onto here brick underscore wall, it's going to look for this tag now. We're going to say, well, it's hit the brick wall. Hit brick wall. Like so. And now if we just look here, I'll bring the game over so just so you can see. One thing you will notice is that, yeah, the mouse isn't sort of locked properly to the screen. We will add that line of code as well. I might add that in a minute, maybe. So you can see hitting a wall there, hitting the ground there, hitting the wall. It doesn't update on that because I've got it set to collapse. If I just take that off for now, so I'm hitting the ground, and then hitting the wall, hitting the wall a lot of times. So you can see that it's perfectly detecting what we're shooting at, which is very good. And if I actually do this I'll see, I've got to click to make sure the ammo reloads there. So see that I'm going to shoot a nothing here. Then I'm going to, if I shoot just there, it's hit the ground. If I go there, it's hit the wall. So you can see that our little crosshair there is working perfectly because it's given the right accuracy as to where we're shooting, which is very good. So we can see if we're shooting the sky or whatever. So it's pretty much pixel perfect, although we can probably run tests later on just to double check if the crosshair is actually dead in the center properly. But normally with UI elements they do spawn in the center of the canvas, which is very useful. Okay, so now we've got that set up. Don't think there's much more we can do with this tutorial. I'll add the mouse locking next episode because I will need to find a reference script for that because I can't quite remember how to do it on the top of my head. I think it is screen.cursor maybe? .cursor, no, screen.lock, no. Okay, I'm not quite sure the actual function, although I can search the script reference just to quickly see. Actually, this is one thing that's probably going to be useful for everyone. We have the scripting reference open up here, so we can actually have a look. So we're writing in JavaScript. It's always good to do that. We can search. We can have lock screen.lock cursor. Oh no, it's there. Okay, so we can actually have a thing here that will lock the cursor on the game, which will be very useful. So if we just go here to start, we're going to lock the cursor to the screen. Which will be good, and that means when we actually play, the cursor rather, isn't going to come out unless we click out and obviously do that. It probably wasn't the best way for me to show it. If I do it now, the cursor will disappear. I don't even think you can see the cursor in the video. But whatever. So now you'll see that you can play around all you want and the cursor is not going to leave the screen unless you do something like this and you free the cursor. We can actually add a button as well to do that. Actually, that's another thing you can probably do yourself. You can, after this code here, I'll just do it, screw it. If input dot get key town, let's have keycode dot, oh, I said that wrong. I haven't said it wrong, but I've done it wrong. Keycode dot, which button should we use? Let's use Q. So we can actually have if if where did I put this? If screen.lockCursor is equal to true, then we are just going to set it to false. Else it's going to be equal to true. So now we are just going to test to see if this should be unlocked, or if the mouse should get unlocked, which it doesn't, which is quite annoying. Okay, I will come back to everybody on that. There's probably a better way of doing it. I think it's because it's doing all the gun detection first. Well, that's fine. We'll work on that. Actually, have I done that? Have I done that right? I don't know. We'll leave that for now then. You can just get out of it by pressing the Windows button, or if you're on a Mac, I don't know how you can do it on a Mac. To be honest, there's a button. I don't know what it's called though. Is it a control key? I don't know what Macs have. Somebody tell me. I do have an Apple keyboard somewhere. It is control. I have one of the old iMac G3 ones. It is control. Okay. I think you press that. I think it works the same. I'm not quite sure. And it should free the mouse or just doing stuff. Make sure you save your project, of course. I know that it's probably been too long a tutorial to actually add a bit of UI and detecting walls again. But whatever. We've added a crosshair. We've added the ammo text, so we know what we're doing, and we've added detection for objects. So if you now add more things in, you can make more tags. Add another if-else statement after the one that we've just put in, and then you can add all your tags for the stuff in your game. So you can add barrels and everything. And then in the next tutorial, we're going to add some particle effects and stuff and sound. Actually, I was going to set up sound this time, wasn't I? Oh well, I will do that next time. We'll have particle effects and sound, and we can apply textures and stuff. Actually, I'll give a little thing for you to download for the next episode. Download the PBS Materials Variety Pack from the Asset Store. If I go here, it's just this here. You can find it in Textures and Materials. Download this and we'll play around with it in the next thing. Actually, you can play around with it before you watch the next tutorial, because I mean there's stuff like this that you have tiles and all this. We can play around with it and do stuff, which will be fun. Actually, I think I'm just going to play this because I really like it. And yeah, it'll be good if you guys can get that. My voice is slowly going. And then like we can do this. We're going to stuff like the brick wall. I'm basically doing what I was going to do next week right now. Oh, there we go. Select the brick wall, and that doesn't want to be applied. Why not? Oh, it's because the canvas is in the way. This will sometimes happen. The canvas does get in the way. So just go around it, add it in, like so. Actually, we can add a variety. Oh no, that didn't work. Oh, that works quite well. What about this? Oh, I don't like that. Let's just add another one of those. So we have 3 brick walls, and they look alright. We can play around with the resizing and stuff, like that. Like that. You can do whatever. You can rotate them. You can do them like that. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. And the walls. And that's how to drag a material onto something. Hey, that's out of the list. No, I will do a better tutorial thingy on stuff like that. But you can play around, make a small level if you want to, just using these. I wouldn't recommend making a full level just by doing this, mainly because it will get very performance intensive. I will cover 3D modeling in Blender later on in the series, or I might do another side series which will start soon, or may already exist, so just look in my recent videos and stuff for that, because it might exist. But I hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, let me know why. If you did, leave a like, maybe subscribe, it helps me out a little bit. if you use AdBlock, then make sure to add this channel or YouTube in general to your whitelist thing, just so that when you're watching YouTube and stuff, you support them just that little bit. Now we have YouTube Red and stuff coming in. It's a little bit confusing as to what is going on in terms of advertising. So yeah, just that little bit helps me to maybe get $1 a month or something. That's not that much, but it might go towards something in the future. $12 a year, yeah, no. God. Whatever. Thank you very much for watching, and maybe I will see you in the next tutorial. If not, then good luck with learning Unity. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. When my mouse actually hits the stop recording button, because it is crashed. Maybe. Oh, there we go.